What's up guys, Glenn here back on the Function Powersports YouTube today. We got this really sweet 2018 Can-Am Maverick X3 XDS Turbo Arson behind us, and we got some brand new aftermarket wheels and tires on this machine, and we got the owner Davin here today. So we're gonna walk through the whole machine build and go over all the details. All right, so down here we got some BFG KM3 30x10 R14 tires mounted up with some brand spanking new Method 401, basically gunmetal gray or titanium they call it, with the black ring for the bead block. And you know, this is a fresh setup. It's a block setup on the machine. And I guess we'll have Davin talk a little bit about the block setup and some like benefits there.
Yeah, so one of the things with the Maverick X3s and most Can-Am machines is from the factory they come with a staggered setup. There are a 14x8 wheel in the rear and a 14x7 wheel in the front. Now, for an aggressive look coming out of the factory, that does the job.
Right.
When you get out on the trails and you start really getting into these machines, you realize that you're starting to go through a lot more rear tire than you do in the front.
Yep.
I personally went through 3 sets of rear tires on this machine before I even had the nubs worn off of the front.
Which is crazy.
You're
just going through rear tires. So now that gets us to, now we got some Method 401 bead blocks on here, another set of 14x7s, but these are a 4+3 offset. So you get the 4-inch back spacing, 3-inch offset. So you can see it's got a little bit of a dish here, which basically what we figured from, you had the 6+1s roughly, now we're sitting at the 4+3. It's about an inch or, you know, possibly pushing 1.5 inches wider on each wheel around the machine. So it is a little bit wider than it was, but we still got those, you know, 30x10 tires. These BFG KM3s, the tread's beautiful on them to keep them narrow. So I think we'll still be really close to that new, you know, keeping the machine width you're going for.
And I think it turned out excellent.
Heck yeah. And with this exact wheel, you don't need the spline lug nuts. OEM lug nuts fit perfectly with it. So that's something a lot of OEM or aftermarket wheels usually do require spline lug nuts. All right, so as you can see, this machine's got a ton of aftermarket accessories, even some OEM cooler stuff on it. So I guess, Davin, let's start from the front. You know, let's talk about this bumper and winch setup here.
Machine did not come with a front bumper or a winch. In order to get a winch on this machine and have it mount properly, I did end up going with the OEM Can-Am front bumper setup that I put on there, along with the skid plate. It's got a 10,000-pound Super ATV winch on it.
So I guess then moving back, we got the Fox suspension here, and then, which, you know, all the Mavericks do come with those, but do you have anything special done there?
I had the valving redone in them after the first year of riding because I could tell that it was just getting a little bit sloppy. There's tons of adjustments available on these shocks. When you come up to the top here, you've got your high-speed compression on the outside here and then a low-speed compression. Then down on the bottom of the shock, you have what you call a rebound adjustment, which is how quickly the shock rebounds.
And then kind of tying back up to here, we got, you know, the half windshield, you got the visor up top on the roof. Is there anything you want to mention on that?
The lower visor is nice for, you know, just cutting down on a little bit of the wind.
Yep, and a little bit of debris.
Yep, and top visor is nice for keeping the sun out of your eyes if you're having a late day back.
And I see you got the side mirrors, but we got the tuner module and the stereo. I guess let's talk a little bit about that there.
So I started off with a Rockford Fosgate Stage 2 setup, which was just 2 6.5-inch drivers in the front here in these pods.
And it kind of replaces some of the dash plastic there too.
As well as the pod for the radio.
Yep.
And that's a Rockford Fosgate radio as well. It's 25 watts by 2, nothing too crazy. And a couple of months later, ended up with a set of rear speaker pods in the back there. One of the things I really surprised me when I bought this machine is that they don't come with lower doors. It's, I guess, so whatever. I ended up putting those on right away. A lot of things. They also didn't come with like the hoist to hold the door open. I put those
Which is super nice for ease of opening the door.
Super nice when you're cleaning the inside of the machine. They're not closing on you and everything like that. Another thing, these machines came with a typical car seatbelt setup. And I knew, you know, the type of rider that I am. And I knew, and I wanted that extra level of protection. I ended up going with the OEM Can-Am 4-point harnesses.
And then I guess back here, let's talk about this big device here. You know, what does it do? What is it?
The very first mod I did to this machine that it did not leave the showroom with was an Smb Particle Separator. One of my main concerns getting into a turbocharged machine in dusty conditions is you do not want dirt getting into a turbocharger.
Correct.
That is going to end up badly. And I can tell you that 6,200, 6,300 miles on this machine. I've changed the air filter once.
Yep.
And it was literally only because I figured out what the hell. Out of all the money I've put into this machine, everybody I talk to that asks me about it, I tell them, if you are going to spend any money on one of these machines, you do that first.
So as you can see, this machine's really set up well for any kind of trail use you're gonna, or any kind of trail or off-road use you're gonna throw at it. And I mean, Davin's got a ton of miles on the machine. It's the ultimate setup for an everyday rider or someone that's gonna do a little bit more extreme riding with how it is set up with the suspension tuning and the wheel and tire setup. I want to thank Davin for bringing this machine in and also being in our video to help share some of his expertise and knowledge, because you've been in the riding scene for quite a long time, and I've been in it. Yep. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a like, give us a subscribe, and see future videos coming out. And let us know in the comments below if you got any questions on this setup or what you think of how he's got it set up as well. So that's what we got for you guys today on the Function Powersports YouTube. Peace.
Don't forget to check out Function Powersports for all your power sports needs.
Heck yeah.
We're taking this over.
Yep, we're taking
this over.
We're taking this over.
We're taking this over.
Hell yeah.